President Trump is on his way to Singapore for a historic summit. Right now on Wink News Weekend, what he's doing to prevent nuclear war with North Korea.
Plus, new recordings just released from the case of a Florida serial killer. What we're learning about the motives from the tapes.
And following an alligator attack on the East Coast, we'll show you ways to protect yourself should one come toward you.
Live from Southwest Florida's news leader, this is Wink News Weekend.
Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Andrea Henderson.
And I'm Channing Frampton. It's Sunday, June 10th. We'll have those stories in just a minute. But first, we're checking with meteorologist Brooke Silverang to see how our Sunday Fun Day is shaping up. This morning, we are learning more about the timeline when tens of thousands of concealed weapons permits in Florida were approved with no national background check. The FDLE report says the background check issue took place between February 2016 and March of 2017. That falls within the timeline of when 49 people were killed in a mass shooting at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando. Adam Putnam, the man who runs the agency responsible for doing those checks, who is also running for governor, explained it was a staffer unable to log into the computer system that left those applications approved without a background check.
As a result of this IG investigation and the processes that we have implemented, this should not ever happen again. And I will continue to hold all of my people accountable across the entire department for all of the responsibilities we have, including licensing, but not limited to licensing.
Of the 365 permits that were given, 291 permits were taken back once a full check was completed. This morning, the employee who approved those applications without a background check is no longer with the department. Well, tomorrow, the grandmother accused of 2 cross-country murders will be back in court. Investigators say Lois Reese befriended Pamela Hutchinson on Fort Myers Beach to steal her identity and then killed her. At the time, she was wanted for the murder of her husband in Minnesota. She'll be arraigned tomorrow. Reese faces first-degree murder charges. If convicted, she could face the death penalty. Also tomorrow, the Lehigh Acres man convicted of murdering his own family will be back in court. Investigators say Brian Hyde killed his aunt, pregnant cousin, and her boyfriend back in 2015. He's being sentenced in that case on Monday. Last week, he appeared in court for a hearing over assaulting a corrections officer while awaiting trial. This morning, he's charged with battery on a law enforcement officer. And this morning, this Naples man is facing charges for trying to hide drugs under his armpits. The Collier County Sheriff's Office says John Fitzpatrick had 2 fentanyl patches under each arm as he walked into the jail. They discovered them during a strip search. Deputies learned Fitzpatrick brought them in for another inmate inside the jail and planned to bring even more for others. Now he's facing drug charges.
Well, during these hot summer months in Florida, you don't need much of an excuse to head on over to the beach or take a dip in the pool.
Let's go to the beach, let's go get away.
Oh, whipping out the songs this morning.
Yes. Well, what if you could swim your way to help pay for kids' college tuition? Wink News reporter Hannah Vogel is live in Naples, where they're getting ready to start that project today. A warning this morning for Samsung phone users. A Michigan woman says her phone caused a fire that destroyed her car and nearly killed her. It happened last month. She had 2 cell phones sitting in a cup holder when one of them caught fire. She quickly pulled over and got out as the flames took over her Nissan Maxima. The fire department records verified the fire was started by the cell phone. In a short statement, a Samsung spokesperson says, "While we don't comment on pending litigation, we stand behind the safety of millions of Samsung phones in the United States." The woman and her attorney have not yet filed a lawsuit. At the G7 summit, President Trump demanded America's top trading partners end all tariffs, warning the U.S. would win any trade war if they tried to retaliate against the tariffs the U.S. imposed on imported steel and aluminum.
No tariffs, no barriers. That's the way it should be. We're like the piggy bank that everybody's robbing. It's going to stop. Or we'll stop trading with them.
And despite the tough talk, the president insists that he got along with the other world leaders. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was not intimidated. Canada is moving ahead with new trade tariffs next month.
We move forward with retaliatory measures on July 1st, applying equivalent tariffs to the ones that the Americans have unjustly applied to us. We're reasonable, but we also will not be pushed around.
But wait, there's more. After that, President Trump took to Twitter in response, saying the United States will no longer endorse the G7 communique, and the other countries agreed to sign on Saturday. He also called Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau very dishonest and weak. Meanwhile, Republican Arizona Senator John McCain is condemning the president. He says, quote, "To our allies, bipartisan majorities of Americans will remain pro-free trade, pro-globalization, and supportive of alliances based on 70 years of shared values. Americans stand with you, even if our president does not." A concern in the Cape over seawalls damaged by Hurricane Irma. Vacant lots like this one are in the middle of large residential areas, and they're being used as loading zones for marine contractors as crews work to repair the walls. Some neighbors say they are upset about the dust and the noise, but others say they don't mind.
They're understanding and sympathetic to their neighbors, and realize that they too will one day need their seawall replaced.
I mean, they got a job to do, so personally, you know, as long as it was in regular hours and it wasn't too noisy, I would try to overlook it if I could.
The city says it's not sure when they will officially designate these work sites. Trust Wink News to let you know when they decide. It's a beautiful day in St. Louis, and it's a beautiful day in Southwest Florida as well. And there's plenty to do outdoors with the fantastic weather we've got. And 96.9 Wink FM's Jason Drew is here to let us know what's happening in Southwest Florida. A lot happening this week.
There is. Actually, today, if you're looking for something to do with your four-legged best little friend, you can join the Fort Myers Canine Frisbee Club. It's their summer league. You can go down and toss and fetch. It starts at 9:30 this morning and runs until July 8th. It's the Frisbee Club. They play once a week for 5 weeks. It happens at the Gateway Park. It's the dog park next to the Sherman Soccer Complex. And the dog park, they've got 2 fenced areas, one for the big dogs, one for the little pups. And all levels are welcome to go and play.
That sounds fun. Are you going to take your bulldog out?
Have you ever seen a bulldog with a Frisbee?
Yes.
Yeah, they like run into everything. So yeah, maybe I will take it.
It'll be entertaining. All right. And there's something happening at the beach today, too.
Absolutely. Brooke, is it going to be nice on the beach today?
Most definitely looking at some good beach weather. I mean, earlier the better, of course. Later in the day, some rain. But you know what? That doesn't stop the party until we hear the thunder.
All right, we'll get down there because they're celebrating. It's a free event on the beach for the entire family. It's the Lani Kai Island Resort, Fort Myers Beach. They're turning 40 years old today, and they're celebrating with a huge family fun party from 1 till 4. It's barbecue. They're going to have cupcakes, games, and prizes, and fun for the kiddos, including a bounce house, Channing, and a slide, and arts and crafts, face painting, balloon arts, and a whole bunch more. And don't worry, there's something for the parents, too. You can enjoy some celebratory specialties, including some commemorative cups and T-shirts.
Are you suggesting that I like to bounce?
Yes. The bounce house.
It's true. It's a good time.
And the slide and everything else.
Something for the teachers, too.
Yeah, school's out, so this is kind of fun. Calling all of you teachers, the Momentum Brew House in Bonita. They've been celebrating all weekend. Today's the last day. They've got $1 off all their beers all day today, so just bring your school ID or your badge or whatever and enjoy a little bit of a bubble.
It sounds like a good time.
Right?
Yeah. And then big star coming to town this week.
Oh, what's her name?
Kelly Pickler.
That's right, Kelly.
I like her.
She's going to be great. Friday the 15th, country music and artist, former American Idol contestant Kelly Pickler is going to perform at 7 o'clock, Southwest Florida Event Center in Bonita. And you can go visit the center's website and get your tickets. They start at just $45.
Oh, okay, that's not bad. And hey, if you're feeling stressed out, how can you help people out with that?
Well, you go to Wink FM right now and you get in there and get winning because we're giving away these wonderful, it's the Integra Life Spa in Fort Myers. We've given away each week. It's a new winner. So go to winkfm.com to register to win. And then tomorrow morning, Logan in the New Wink Morning Show is going to let us know who wins and then find out what the next big prize is.
All right. Sounds like a good time. Always good to de-stress on that Monday.
It is.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in, Jason. And now let's check in on that beach forecast with Wink News meteorologist Brooke Silveragh. All right, you've been watching a CBS News special report. President Trump making a landing in Singapore for that historic summit with North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un to try and denuclearize the Korean peninsula.